This graph demonstrates the effectiveness of swift justice between May and December. When we came back in May, when I became the Attorney General in May, the minister and I agreed, based upon the mandate of the Prime Minister, that we would re-implement swift justice. And you will see that between May and December, we were able to achieve a 42% conviction rate, and also with 5 judges, we heard 69 matters. In October, we augmented swift justice. We won't go into the details, but what has happened is that we are working even more closely as stakeholders. And you will see that the result of that between January to date, and this was presented in the Senate a few weeks ago, so this is until March, we were able to move from a 42% conviction rate to a 61% conviction rate. So we're moving in the right direction. We are also moving in the right direction in disposing of matters before the courts. You will see that in less than 12 weeks, we were able to dispose of 23 matters with the same 5 judges. We can project that if we continue on that course, that by the end of the year, we will easily dispose of at least 200 matters, and that is our target. Okay, we hope to be able to demonstrate equally as graphically every month that the project is working, that stakeholders working together so that matters are not being adjourned, that things that can be avoided like witnesses, key witnesses not turning up, are in fact avoided, and that people understand that, as we say, you will be caught, you will be tried, and you will be prosecuted. Understood? I just want to add one more thing. I do want to say a hearty thank you to all of the stakeholders at the table, and they meet with us. I invited you to a swift justice meeting. We've just finished our meeting. We have at the table members of the Attorney General's office here present, my prosecutors. We have the police present. We have the Public Hospitals Authority present. We have the prison present, and we have social services present. And of course, you will see that Grand Bahama is joining us by way of video conference. I would like Mr. Don Clare from the prison, who is also our IT man. He enables the video conferencing, and he has also enabled us. What we have now, and we are moving to now going on right now in a trial, is a situation where photographs are not being used only by way of a physical photograph, but they're being projected onto a TV screen in the court. And Mr. Clare will be able to talk a little bit more about that. And I also would like any of my prosecutors who wish to talk about how swift justice is impacting them. Minister? I
wish merely to congratulate and thank all the members of the law enforcement team, including our officers at the Office of the Attorney General, the police, the prison services, the hospital services, the entire team, and even the team in Freeport who meet every week. We are serious about the job that we have been tasked to do, and that is to ensure that the criminal justice system works as effectively and as efficiently as is humanly possible. At the present time, we are happy to see things flowing in the way they are, and in due course there will be other tweaks to the system to make it even more efficient than it is. But I wish to signal to the public that it is a great pleasure to see the success rate that has been accomplished by the very, very hard work that has been demonstrated week in and week out by the members of our team. And whatever successes our system has are created by the synergy that exists in our different disciplines and our different agencies that come together and form the front attack on crime. Thank you.
To try to modernize all of the courts in the Bahamas, and we have started some 6 months ago, whereby we are now using video links in the Supreme Courts. And also we now putting in place some evidence tools to better present evidence during the time of trials. So with this new infusion of equipment into the courts, we are now saving the government thousands of dollars in terms of bringing in witnesses from abroad and also reproducing images during trials.
Police Department, I'd like to say that the vision that has been set forth by the Honorable Attorney General, that we have fully embraced it. The vision of the Attorney General is to make the justice system in the Bahamas effective. And like she sometimes say, if we want to have the most effective justice system, not in the Bahamas, but in the entire region. And so, on behalf of the police, we have come on board. We have the assistance of our forensic team and the assistance of the prosecutions department from the police side. We have been doing an effective job. All of us here are links into a chain. And we know that if a link is damaged or broken, then the chain is not effective. It becomes ineffective. So each of us, by continuously playing our part and doing what it is required of us, we've made the justice system to be an effective one.
Thank you once again. It is my pleasure and joy to say that, to speak very briefly as to the impact of the Swift Justice. Because when you talk about bringing the police together, the hospital authority is here, and you will hear from Ms. Janet Hall in just a minute. I can't begin to describe how, first of all, it makes me feel as a member of this office along with my colleagues, because we work very, very hard. And when we see figures are important, they're important for a number of reasons. But the figures that we show here today, they are important because it is about persons having confidence in the justice system of the Bahamas. And that is what we are about. And that is what the whole concept of Swift Justice is about. Bringing confidence back, and where it was, strengthening it even further. And that's what that concept is about. Because without the police, without the prosecutors, without persons like Ms. Hall and Mr. Clare and others, who are all part of the stakeholders and the courts, we're not going to be successful if we're not on the same page. But we are now managing that success in many different ways. We have other aspects of this, offshoots. We have case management. We have even victims care unit. All of these are part and parcel of the entire Swift Justice concept. So we're not only looking after saying, well, making sure that the person who's guilty is brought to justice, but we're also looking after the victims as well in the process, and we're keeping them along. Now, we meet every Wednesday, and every Wednesday I'm happy to be here amongst all of my colleagues and persons like Ms. Hall, who's going to come right now. Ms. Hall is the legal advisor to the Public Health Authority. I don't think she realized what she's getting into once she was first invited, but I'm not going to say anything else. I'm just going to allow Ms. Hall to come here and say a few words. Ms. Hall.
At the Swift Justice meeting, we have a taskmaster who expects for us to operate at a very high standard. The Public Hospitals Authority expects and mandates that all prosecutors requiring any health reports that are to be exhibited as evidence in court, that they place their requests to the Public Hospitals Authority 3 weeks in advance. Not one day, not 1 hour, not 2 hours before they are required to go to court. They must put their requests to us 3 weeks in advance. The public appreciates, and we all appreciate around the table, that our healthcare team are very busy persons. Our doctors and our nurses are very, very busy. When a request is made for a pathology report, it takes time for Dr. Karen Sands and her team to examine the body and to place their report in writing. When a medical report is required, again, we have to retrieve the medical records. We know that our system is very antiquated. Our medical records may be stored off of the compound. The medical records officer has to find that medical record, has to send it over to the physician, who will review the report and then place the report in writing. There are also requests for psychiatric evaluation, and the psychiatric evaluation takes place at the Sandilands Rehabilitation Center or the Community Assessment Center on Market Street. Again, time has to be scheduled for the accused or the victim to go in and have an assessment. We also coordinate the services of the Grand Bahama Health Services so that when requests are made, again, the 3-week window is very, very important. So we're able to communicate with them and to get the reports to them in a timely fashion. What the Public Hospitals Authority does every Wednesday is to ask the prosecutors to complete a form. We've designed a form. And the form includes the name of the accused or the victim. We ask them to give us the date of birth, the date of the incident. If they're able to give us the medical record number, sometimes they have that, they can give that to us as well. This report then is reproduced and sent to our medical chief of staff in each of the 3 health facilities for them to complete their reports. We know that many cases turn based on the health reports, and so our physicians, our nursing staff, and our medical records personnel appreciate the fact that the reports have to be submitted in a timely fashion. And so that's our contribution to this exercise.
This initiative means to us is that we have less downtime in the courts. We have information compiled as a package well in advance of trial with the help of the probation department, with the health system. And so therefore, a prosecutor now has a total package well in advance of trial that can be shared with the defense, and therefore the discovery in terms of letting the defense know what exactly you have and what they should have. That's basically cutting down on that particular issue. So it's very, very helpful, and we're seeing the benefits of that. And the delay certainly is cutting down in our system here in Grand Bahama. So we embrace this Swift Justice Initiative, and we're very happy with it, and we are also seeing successes here in Freeport.
Exactly. Terry, you want to say something really briefly before we open for the questions?
Okay. Good afternoon. My name is Terry Archer. I'm a prosecutor in the Department of Public Prosecution. I came in 2006, and I've seen the evolution of this department. Swift justice means to me as a prosecutor, because I take it personal, is that all of my documents, all of my files are in order. When I go down to court, there's less adjournment, there's less stress for me as a prosecutor when I'm able to have the police, the prison, the hospital authority, all those having all the documents, all the evidence compiled for us in a timely fashion so that we are able to present these evidence before the court and to have all our witnesses prepared in time for trial. So swift justice as a concept is evolving, but since I came in 2006, I could say to now, we've seen tremendous success because of that concept. Although some of us were dry, kicking and screaming, we could see the success of the department in terms of our work, and actually it means less stress on us as prosecutors if we could go before the court and say we are ready and less adjournment. So swift justice is something that I say all of us should appreciate and embrace in the Bahamas, because it would have a great improvement on our justice system.
Ladies, I'm Andrea Newbold, and swift justice to us at the Department of Rehabilitative Welfare Services. We are responsible for getting the reports out on time, and that would help with the less adjournments too with the court. So that's our main focus, getting those probation reports out. Thank you.